There was one particular review where it was a consultation that was quite difficult. There was a patient that had quite a lot of health problems, had been to many different doctors, and I wasn't going to be in a position to fix all their problems. And so I didn't know if they reviewed the consultation or not. I find out afterwards that they have, and I was quite surprised by the feedback. It was quite honest feedback, but actually what they said was they were really pleased there was someone actually listening to all their problems that could explain what was explainable, and that I was quite honest with where the limitations were, and that though I didn't fix all their problems, they actually found it very useful to tie together a lot of the different aspects of the problems they were having, and found the consultation overall helpful. And I think to follow on from that, they found that my letter to the GP, trying to distill all their problems as a helpful summary, really useful for their care as well. So it wasn't, he was fantastic, he fixed, I should have gone to him at the beginning, he fixed all my problems. It wasn't that, it was quite a realistic review, but one I was quite surprised about. Such a relief to find someone who was willing to listen and who could explain so clearly and carefully what was going on with me and what the likely implications and options are. And he did the report the same day so I could get back to my GP. Thank you so much, Dr. Callis.
I did have a lovely one where a patient said something like he made me laugh all the way through the operation or something, and as all of our procedures are now local anaesthetic, what we've found is the most important thing is to distract patients, and the best distraction is make them laugh. So theatre is my happy place. It's the best fun I have. Professor Whiteley and the entire team are dedicated professionals whose expertise, skills and care immediately puts patients at ease. Having been a patient since 2015, I highly recommend the leading services provided by the Whiteley Clinic. I wouldn't trust anyone else with my veins now.
Really exceptional experience with Dr. She has been extremely professional, friendly and provided really practical help. We were very apprehensive prior to his allergy testing experience, but we've been so thrilled that with Dr. Brough and her expertise, very grateful to have seen her. Oh, it feels really wonderful. It feels really good to know that I really do try and provide a friendly and approachable and make the family feel at ease, make the child feel at ease, and I want them to feel like they come away from the consultation with all the answers that they want, all of the investigations completed and to their satisfaction and no stone left unturned, and I want them to also feel cared for. So for me it's wonderful to see that because it gives me purpose.
What I found with my patients is they were patients that were long-term patients. The first one was one of the patients referred to me as having surgical skills, and I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so for me to have those fine skills and for somebody to notice them not in a wound care NHS environment but actually in my clinic where I'm treating aesthetically, that was quite a compliment, because when you move from wound care to general practice and aesthetics, it's a different world, and to still have somebody have that appreciation and notice your level of skill, that was something that really touched me.
He was understanding, friendly and reassuring. I felt enormously better leaving the practice than before arriving. The reception team was similarly impressive. Really nice, especially if they're also including the reception team. I think it's really nice. No, and especially that I've given them information and they felt enormously better. So giving them peace of mind. A lot of medicine is giving people information away from Google. Often you don't need to give any medication, you don't need to do anything, you just need to be there to give them information and help them weigh up decisions.
I love all our reviews, but I think the one that is my favourite because it sums up what's most important is somebody who left fantastic experience, great staff. I wish I'd known about this place years ago. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I think one of the reasons I particularly like that is because the most common comment made by patients who come to see us is, I wish I'd known about you earlier. And I think when someone says thank you from the bottom of my heart, I think it really does resonate with how desperate people are to find a really good opinion, to get a good diagnosis and to be steered towards the right treatment. So from my perspective, this really sums up everything that we're about and the reason we exist.
There was one that I was proud of, but I was absolutely blown away by just how long this thing was. It must have been 5,000 words or something. It was just pages and pages. I think it was like page 19 of you know, it was incredible. But I do remember a patient that had a journey. I do minimally invasive type surgery, and I harness surgical technology like robotic surgery. That's my niche sort of thing, to do minimally invasive cancer surgery, for instance, but sort of sparing all the morbidity of big open operations. And you know, it's scary to be going through that journey, and therefore some of the patient journeys that patients, you know, post and write are just so inspirational for other patients. And what I actually do is there's a feature in the Doctify website, as I'm sure you know, where you can actually respond back and make comments back. I do sort of do that actually, you know, usually just sort of things like, oh, thank you for that. But it's nice to sometimes just acknowledge the courage, really, the bravery of some of these patients. Mr. Aurora always explained in detail all the pros and cons of the operation that he performed on me. The operation was so successful that I would always be grateful, even with a reduced swallow. The aftercare has been excellent. Yeah, that was a chap that had robotic surgery actually for a cancer called melanoma, which is quite a nasty cancer actually. And so his baseline swallow was significantly compromised because of radiotherapy treatment that he'd had to that area at the back of his throat. The alternative for him would have been to split his jaw and do a very massively invasive operation. And since that review, actually, this guy has really turned a corner.
This particular patient review, which came in just the other day, so if I read it out to you, the patient had talked about that they'd had LASIK laser eye surgery. The consultant appointment was excellent. They had it in the evening as they'd requested, and they talked about the fact that they were having some sensitive stomach at the time, and the staff were very reassuring and comforting, and the procedure itself was superb. They felt reassured throughout the process, and they went on to then talk about the surgeon basically messaging them straight after, even on a Sunday, to make sure that everything had gone well. And I think it ticked off a number of points in terms of what we try to do well is delivering really good clinical service, good customer service before and afterwards. And I thought that review almost kind of was a combined effect of everything that we're trying to do at Optegra.
So this is one that I think resonates with the team quite strongly actually. From day one, the support from the staff was exceptional. I was made welcome immediately upon arrival from some of the patients also. The group program was very effective with all the therapists contributing to my recovery, as well as gaining support from fellow patients. I came into the Nightingale at a crisis point and will be leaving a new person. I would like to further highlight the quality of the nurses that worked with me. Mo, Theo, Viviana, Namusa and Neve, throughout my stay, the care and attention provided was next to none. We actually took time out to name members of staff, which I felt was very powerful.